Alright, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about how CME futures ruin everything, and not just Bitcoin. And then we have some other interesting articles as well. Before we finish off the day, we are still under a $300 billion market cap with crypto, so not doing too well. Some people think that the bear market is yet to be over, and we may see 5,000 or 4,000 for Bitcoin. I can't really say either way, because every time somebody makes some kind of prediction about Bitcoin, it goes the opposite way or just stays stagnant and does nothing at all. So at this point, TA for Bitcoin is kind of useless. So let's talk about the CME Bitcoin futures, and I've talked about this so many times on my channel, and I thoroughly believe that it is almost entirely because of Bitcoin futures is the reason why we see the price today. So Bitcoin futures from the CME group launched December 17th, and then the trade date was December 18th. So started on December 17th, and the trade started on December 18th. So let's take a look at another thing here. Just before we get started. So this is the Bitcoin CME futures, and it started on December 17th, and the trading didn't really start till the 18th, but we can go with the 17th either way. One day off is not too big of a deal. And then we could see this massive price, and we have just been pretty much non-stop going down ever since. The only reason why we go up a little bit is because it's so low that everybody starts to buy in and raises the price, and boom, it goes back down again. So here's some other things as well. So here's the uranium futures. It started May 2007. And just to give a little bit of a reference here, just in case you might think, hey, maybe these graphs are just totally made up. No, that's not the case. As you can see here, even CME says it started the 17th, and then the uranium futures contract for the CME group started May 6th and 7th. And you can see here, uranium itself just went all the way down. Now, I know most of my viewers don't really probably care about uranium or just about any other kind of future or commodity, as most of us are into crypto, but either way, you can see that anything that CME touches is like the opposite of the Midas touch. It's like the coal touch of Midas. So we could see the silver futures contracts, and these started just about at the absolute high. And you could notice that all of these coincidentally started the exact high of whatever commodity they happen to be trading. So uranium, it was at the absolute all-time high of uranium, the all-time high of silver, although we missed that one just a little bit. I bet they're kicking themselves in the bottom for missing that like $20 difference. But pretty much we can call that the all-time high. Gold, all-time high. And as you can see, every time these start from there on, it just gets the opposite Midas touch here. So a little bit of down at the bottom here. So here's a quote. He's like, they say, we will regulate, make Bitcoin not wild nor wilder. We'll tame it into a regular type instrument of trade with rules. I'm sure you will, CME. So this is, most of the crypto community believe that Bitcoin price retraction this year is the result of a combination of bad news, bad timing, oversold, all-time high prices, consumer sentiment, etc., etc. The truth that they will not admit, however, is that Bitcoin and Bitcoin futures is being manipulated by powerful entities that want to see it either completely under their control or completely destroyed. If they can control it via price suppression and profit according to their will, that's fine. If they destroy it through decimating consumer confidence so that the people will leave Bitcoin, crypto, that's also fine, because it means their primary business model, i.e. banking, will not be challenged, and it's back to business as usual. So thanks CME for picking up the futures. Now, everybody was super hyped about the futures coming. They're like, yeah, this is institutional money coming in. This is institutional money. Everything, it's going to go to the moon. It's going to go to the moon. And then the day it started, literally the day it started, boom, we've seen this gigantic dump, and we have never recovered since. And may never recover. I don't mean to FUD in that sort of way, but according to all of the others, and this isn't even like 2008 crisis prices or anything like that. This is well beyond that, all in about 2011, 2013 or so when these started, and then Bitcoin in, of course, 2017. So there was no savage economic downfall. There was no depression. There was no crash. Nothing like that. CME started, and they intentionally manipulate the prices downward because they all bet on it going down and not up, because it's much easier to dump the prices, FUD it either way, and just plain dump it, and then bet on it when it's all the way down. And again, as you can see with the text down here, that, well, it's all fine to them because their primary banking model is business anyway, banking anyway, so it doesn't really matter what the prices are. They're getting their money either way. So, nice insight into CME and the futures prices that we all thought were going to moon the price of Bitcoin. It's totally not the case. So anybody that is arguing against CME, because I know I've created several videos about the futures destroying the price of Bitcoin, and everybody, well, not everybody, but a few people here and there are like, well, I don't think it was CME because they don't control the vast majority of the market. Well, do you think they control the vast majority of gold? Do you think they control the vast majority of silver or uranium? And pretty much anything else. I'm sure if you really dug hard enough, you could get other graphs that show otherwise as well. So CME is almost certainly the cause of the price crash of numerous commodities and Bitcoin. So moving on from that, some more unfortunate news. 20 million in Ethereum stolen due to Geth vulnerability. So insecurely configured clients running Geth, a command line interface program that runs Ethereum network full nodes, enabled the theft of over 20 million in Ethereum over the last few months. This started when a cybersecurity company noticed that hackers were scanning IP addresses to see whether they had a port 8545 open, and the port is used by Geth to communicate with the Ethereum network. So if hackers would find the port open, they'd be able to probe into it and determine whether the Geth client was configured insecurely or not. Normally, this port is open only locally and not available to the external internet. And those who allowed the port to be open to the public, however, weren't so lucky. When 360 NetLab made the announcement, 360 NetLab, the hackers had only managed to get their hands on 3.9 Ethereum. And our latest scan of the hackers' wallet address now shows us that the hackers have 38,000 in their wallet. Quite the difference. That amounts to about 20.2 million, all because an alarming number of users are ignorant to the fact that they should only allow Geth to listen to port 8545 from localhost, or IP, 127001. So we suggest that anyone running Geth right now should do two things. Make sure that your listener is only listening locally, and change the port to something else to ensure you won't be picked up by scanners. And we're barely at the middle of the year. In April, we found that over $500 million in cryptocurrency has gone to hackers, which is just super ironic. As secure as Bitcoin and these various cryptos are supposed to be, they're incredibly easy to hack. Nobody hacks through private keys. That basically can't be done unless you somehow fish for it and you get the private key, like on like a My Ethereum wallet, and you have like some kind of malware on your computer. Otherwise, just blatantly trying to brute force private keys, virtually impossible. But yet, on the other hand, it's so easy to steal Ethereum through so many ways, whether it's just some kind of keylogger on your computer, or outright hacking ports like that, or hacking exchanges, all sorts of deals. So remedying the situation should be by far one of the top priorities for any developer making applications that operate on cryptocurrency blockchains. One bad application could undo the trust that millions of people have in the coins they've invested in. So don't do that. Only listen locally on 8545, so don't do that. So by the FUD, mainstream media convinced CoinRail hack has caused the crypto price plunge, but I don't think so. And even at the end of the article, you'll see otherwise. Cryptocurrency users are venting frustration. June 11th, that their mainstream media outlets reported the crypto market had fallen, namely due to the hacking of a small South Korean exchange, CoinRail, but they're very, very small. So how does that affect the price of crypto? That's a good question. So as both Bitcoin and altcoins fell, June 10th, sources including Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal, Reuters, The Guardian, and others claimed that the CoinRails hack, which local media reported is causing $37 million in losses, had crashed markets. And namely, all of these, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, Reuters, The Guardian, all owned by elites. So that makes sense that they would say this and wouldn't want to blame it on CME futures. The exchange confirmed the cyber intrusion, but has yet to specify the value of the losses. So we don't know the value of the losses, but all of these main elite journals and newspapers decided that this is what crashed the market, even though they don't know the losses, and it's an extremely small exchange. So as Cointelegraph reported, theories about Sunday's market dip include the fact that U.S. regulators launch a probe into 4 U.S.-based exchanges, which I still don't think so. I don't know why that would crash the market as badly as it has been, into 4 U.S.-based exchanges, while some traders point to the long-term fundamentals to explain Bitcoin's behavior. Tone Vays, who reportedly predicted a significant fall in Bitcoin through 2018, produced fresh analysis highlighting similarities between Bitcoin and Q2 this year and in 2014. Not just price, but several other measures pointed to a protracted period of bear market conditions. As explained in today's price video, even if we do not look at the price and only look at the 3 most popular oscillators, all metrics put the Bitcoin outlook identical to the late August 2014. So for Vays, Bitcoin should soon drop below 5,000, marking the first such move since October 2017. Bitcoin is currently trading at 6,700, down 6% on the day. So clearly nobody knows why the market is crashing right now. It wasn't something, easy like, oh, the Bitcoin Mt. Gox guy was selling all of the Bitcoin, the trustee. It wasn't obviously, it's clearly not CoinRail, as they had, I think, like 2.5 million volume a day, which is basically nothing compared to most exchanges. And then, other people want to put it onto the probe of the 4 U.S.-based exchanges, which I still don't, those U.S.-based exchanges were like 14th, 17th, like 24th exchanges, so those still aren't that major. They're no like Bitfinex or Binance or anything like that. So, again, I don't think that's the case. I think it's Bitcoin futures that has been destroying it, but what the recent dip was, I can't really say at the moment, and nobody seems to have the exact thing pinned down. So cryptojacking now reaches Russian state computers. So about a week ago, the administrators of the website for the region of Russia, I don't even care at the moment, received complaints about high computing resource usage from visitors. As soon as they visited the site, their CPUs mysteriously started working at full blast. Khabarovsk, whatever, Russian. During the investigation, it was found that a mechanism was introduced to the site wherein a malicious program began to work on the user's computer from a third-party infected site, mining cryptocurrency. Said, I don't care about Russian names so much. I mean, if you guys are Russian, that's cool. No offense to anybody in Russia, but Kovalenko, an employee of the Administrative Support Department. Oh man, that's cringy that I can't pronounce Russian stuff. This cryptojacking event marks one of the first times that a Russian state website has fallen victim to such an attack. Though precise details are lacking, seems to be a typical CoinHive script injection favored among hackers who want to use their visitors' computers to mine Monero. Under such an attack, the website owner doesn't notice much. This, after all, a client-side script executed in the visiting browser, not the server. So nice CoinHive script there. They got customer service for just $1.04. $1.04 subscription. You can get all kinds of good customer service for their malware. Instead, the visitors are the ones who get the brunt of the attack, with a notable spike in CPU usage and sometimes in older systems a long delay between user input and its execution, forcing the user to restart the computer with those LGA 775 Pentium 4 processors. So as far as cryptojacking incidents go, this wasn't anything impressive. Being in a sparsely populated area of eastern Russia, the Khabarovsk's website only gets about 600 visits a day. So in December last year, almost 1 billion visitors per month were hit by cryptojacking on 4 highly frequented streaming websites. Because visitors often stay on one page for much longer in these types of sites, the potential profit from this type of attack was over 325 grand a month. By comparison, we estimate that the hackers who infiltrated the Khabarovsk website would have gotten a maximum of 650 during a 1-month period. Honestly, still not too bad. 650 bones, why not? Pays the rent, kind of thing. Coinbase, Bitcoin hitting 49.75 is most optimistic bear market price outlook. So uploading technical forecast for BTC US dollar on social media Sunday. Coinbase, who has produced multiple warnings about a bear market for the leading cryptocurrency in previous months, reiterated his most optimistic bear target below 5,000. My mouth is really dry. I need a $10,000 swig of Coke. Boom, $10,000. It has been a long time since I've posted BTC US dollar charts like this. He wrote in an accompanying commentary saying, my most optimistic bearish target remains at 49.75 for the first half of July. I will update my percentage expectation as future targets once it's hit. So it's been a long time since I posted a chart like this. Kind of miss it, but it really is time consuming. My most optimistic is the 49.75 for the first half of July. So kind of a double tweet there with a little bit more information. A torch for 2014, traders appeared surprised at the extent of Bitcoin's sudden fall over the weekend, while other cryptocurrency industry figures claimed news that a South Korean exchange had lost funds to hackers was being oversold by markets. For Vase, too, the hack has little effort on long-term fundamentals, which for him constitute a repeat of Bitcoin's behavior after it hit previous highs in late 2013. Not just price, but relative strength index, moving average convergence divergence, and stochastics confirm the trend and put the Bitcoin outlook identical to late August 2014. And by the way, guys, this bar across the top of my screen is this actual website that I'm reading from. So it's not an actual, see if you go to a different website or you go to a different website, it's not there. So it's actually this website here. So where you get this bar, I don't really know. It's just the actual website. I'm sure there are actual crypto bars and crypto tickers that you can get as add-ons for your browser. But this is not an add-on, by the way. Because I get that basically every other video as somebody asks, like, hey, where'd you get that sweet add-on? And it is sweet for sure, but it's part of the website. So initial reactions to the re-emergence of the prospect that Bitcoin could fall below 5,000 for the first time since October, meanwhile focused on mainstream perception. So as publications including and report the exchange hacking narrative had caused mass sell-offs, Vase assumed that a further halving of prices would see fresh calls that Bitcoin, as one Twitter user described the situation of 2014 after Mt. Gox, has no future. So just wait a month or two. If Bitcoin is half the price it is now, you will hear all of that again. So, it does seem like Bitcoin may be going down a little bit further. Obviously I hope it does not, but, I try to see it positive either way. If Bitcoin starts to go down too much, then obviously you can buy a lot more for your buck. And if it goes up, then your portfolio is worth more and all your coins are worth more. But the problem with Bitcoin going down, it's much worse than it going up in terms of trying to look at it positively. Because, when Bitcoin goes down, it drags all the other altcoins with it, and it makes your entire portfolio worth much less. But then again, on the other hand, when it goes up, all of your portfolio typically goes up. Not 100% of the case, but generally prices follow Bitcoin. But I hope you guys enjoyed this particular episode, and as usual, I will see you guys next time.